Hello, thanks for listening. As I've mentioned before, I am a school counselor, and this job is incredibly rewarding, but terribly difficult at times. I have the unfortunate task of having tough conversations with both students and parents. I don't like them. I hate confrontation, so it's not easy for me to do this. I would even say that in those moments, it is my least favorite part of my job because they come with so many negative emotions. These are the kind of conversations that have to be had when something needs to change. Here's the great part. Seeing that change is the most rewarding part of my job. And it wouldn't happen unless we added that unwanted force. I have been yelled at by both students and parents during my time as a counselor. I've had to plainly state to parents more than once that their child needed professional help during time of despair. I've had to try to convince even more students that they need help. But the harsh reality is that those things that are making them angry have to be said. And I was hired to say it. And I care enough about my students to do so. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not always good at it. But even through my stumbles, I'm making ripples. It's not easy being called out. I get defensive at times too. Trust me, I've been on both sides of this. One of the most memorable moments I've had as a counselor so far is a student telling me how they felt when I offered a referral. They voluntarily came into my room months after trying to avoid me and spoke their truth. They told me honestly that I had said I wasn't qualified to help them and would like to refer them to a mental health counselor. I wasn't qualified to help them. I didn't realize my words hit them the way they did. Instead of looking at my lack of credentials, they internalized that as they were too broken to help. And I will never forget that and will always be cautious of how I address referrals now. My student was the one who had to say the difficult thing. And they were not trying to shame me. It was just this raw, real moment. I cried that day because I heard something about myself that made me sad. The sooner we listen to those hard-to-hear truths, the sooner we can start to grow from it. This honest interaction made me a better counselor. My student helped me see something I never would have noticed on my own. And I'm thankful for that courageous feedback, even if I didn't ask for it. Life is hard. It's messy and unpredictable. It's okay to admit we all need some help. But hearing it from someone else automatically puts us on guard. We don't want others to notice that we're struggling, and we definitely don't want them to point out our mess-ups. Luckily, those who love us and want us to succeed will find a way to do it appropriately. This is true in my marriage as well. Having difficult conversations with my husband is even worse for me than work-related stuff. I don't want him to see me failing. And it's not because I'm afraid of his reaction, but because I'm ashamed of letting him down. I know some of my biggest weaknesses as a wife, and I don't want to talk to him about it most of the time. Because, like many people, I find it hard to verbalize my poor qualities to the person I love the most. I want him to see me in my positive light. Deep down, though, I know he asks those difficult questions to help us love each other more deeply. He wants us to grow as a couple and learn from each other. He is taking the lead on something I'm too nervous to bring up. I've never thanked him for that before, but I probably need to. Communicating can be difficult in general, but having conversations that point out what's wrong is by far the worst. Trust me when I say these are not always productive. We have to be especially careful how we go about having these conversations. My student referral example proves that our words can hurt even when we have the best intentions. Being gentle yet convincing is a fine line. I have a degree and 3.5 years of experience, and I still get it wrong. I'm going to keep trying, though. because I see victories after the initial shock. I see growth sprout from the anger. I know the greatest success stories are those that rise from the darkest challenges. We need each other to lean on. We have to trust that when someone brings up our pain, they are trying to help us walk through it. It sucks, but with support and love and hard conversations, better days can come. Thank you for listening and being one of my blessings. Have a great day.